Good afternoon, everybody. It's wee Paddy from across the shock, and we've got two for Tuesday. And I broke away from the knives, although there's knives on both of these tools. Leathermans. They're my choice. I have the small Leathermans. I have recently got this one and absolutely adore it. Highly recommended. But I had a chance to trade for this one 2 days ago with a young fella in Scotland. And it came the next day, which is fantastic. It's the Leatherman 300, what is it? Let me just see, there it is there. It's a Leatherman 300 and it's in a black oxidized covering. And I'll get to that one because I wanted to go more a wee bit in depth with this one. This one you've seen before. I think it's fantastic. These are the two sheets that come with them. So you can see there is a definite difference in size in these multi-tools. And you can see it down there. But that's the way they fold away in the small sheets. This one, I have used, since I've had this one, I have not needed to go into my toolbox for any tools, for any jobs that I have done about the house. That is fantastic. It really is fantastic. And I'll give you a quick glimpse of what I carry in I bought a real cheap sheath for it, but it handles more stuff. So with this one, and there is a big difference, so I will go through them. You have the bottle opener and a can opener. You have the removable bit driver here. You have a flathead and a 3D, or is it 2D? Yeah, it's a 2D Phillips head. But you can buy an extension bar, which I've gotten that, which is also a ratchet. And you can buy so many tool bits from Torx, anything at all. I have two strips of tools that have I must have near 50 tool bits in it, or, bits in it that can go in here. And I've got a ratchet screwdriver, so I don't have to manhandle a big clunky, Leatherman tool. So that's fantastic. Super tool. So them two are on one side. These are on the inside. Sorry, I'm going to keep doing that. Let me move this back. On this side, you have a larger flathead. You have a precision screwdriver, and you have a little pair of scissors. And this is why probably this is more of a home tool for me. This is more one that I use about the house. The second one that I'm going to show you today is definitely more of a, I think that goes that way. Yeah, it goes that way and then goes in. Really lovely, easy to handle. The pliers on it, although very substantial, they're not huge. But they'll do everything these other pliers will do, just in a smaller fashion. You have replaceable cutters on these. Now, I know on this one, the new one I've got, all the metal on it is 420 HC, but the blades are 154 cm, which is great for cutters. It gives you that extra little bit of wear and tear than 420. So really good, but you can replace them for cheap. You can also replace these for cheap, but I'm not sure if these are 154 or just 420. I'll maybe try and get back to you with that if I ever remember. So when you close this up, the nice thing about this one is the blades are on the outside, the cutting blades. And I do like that, I'll have to say. So you've got a little nail nick. You can see here on this side you have, and again, this is more for the house rather than a workshop. This has a diamond file, which can sharpen your knives. You know what I mean? It's a great diamond file for precision work. On the other side, it has like a wood file. Super. On the other side of that, you have a blade, a hollow grind blade. And I'll have to say, they come absolutely razor sharp. And although I haven't used this much, it is there to be used. I always have other knives. But, if I just want to cut something, get one of my knives out, I don't reach for this. But in use when you're working away, it's great to have it all in one place. And again, a little nail nick here on the other side. You have your wood saw. It's a double-sided wood saw, which is absolutely fantastic. For green wood and maybe soft wood, it was really not good on hardwood. These saws are not meant for hardwood. They're meant for a softer wood or green wood. That's what they're for. But at a pinch, you make anything work. Then you have a lovely serrated blade. Beautifully done. The serrations are absolutely killer sharp. Look at this. I done it on my new one. It's mine now. So there you go. That's your tool. Comes in a little small package. Really super. You get this little sheath that goes with it. Fantastic. Now, let's go to the new one. It's bigger. It is bigger. But it has some of the same tools. All four of the blades. Now, these all come on the inside. There's nothing on the outside, only the locking mechanism on both sides. This also has locking mechanisms on the outside. You can see that, which do all the tools. They all lock. You have a much larger pair of pliers with, I think, 6 different functions from this is for crimping down at the back here. You have your blades, you have wire cutters, you have the normal size pliers, and then you have the needle nose pliers, so they can get into smaller places, obviously. So let's start on this side, on the outside of the blade. And I'm going through these quite fast because a lot of you have probably seen these before, but it's nice to refresh what you're getting. So on this side, you have a wood saw, exactly the same, just a little bit bigger, fine for green and soft woods. You have a lovely flathead screwdriver. You have a Phillips. It's only the one Phillips screwdriver I have on here, but it's 3D, which is great. You know, it really is a good screwdriver, and it's a size that will do most things that you need a Phillips screwdriver for. You have that, then you have the can opener, bottle opener, and then you have the serrated saw, and it's flipping sharp. I just cut it when I was opening it with this. So this one's locked over, so all you're doing, the locking mechanism is here, and when you press this down, it lifts it up and you can just close it over. And it does that for all the tools on both sides. Either side you have a locking mechanism. So on this other, sorry, I bashed this again, I'm so bad. On this side, you have a blade. 428C, again, hollow ground, comes absolutely razor sharp, super blade. And it's just nice to have as a backup blade, you know what I mean? So you have that. And then on the other side, you have a wood and a metal file. You don't have that diamond file, which you do, and this is more precision. So you have that, and they all lock. I've just left them unlocked here so that it's quicker. You have a bigger flathead screwdriver and an even larger one, which you could use for opening paint cans and things like that. And you have an owl, and just down in the bottom there, you see if you wanted to put a lanyard on it, there's a lanyard hole there, or to hang it up and wherever you're going to keep it. So that's super. Really fantastic tools. These are not sprung, which again is good. It's less to break. You know what I mean? It's just less to break. You can use these, a manual opening, and you get a good distance between these for bolts or anything that we're going to use pliers for. But really well made. They're substantial. These are not light little pliers, but yet again, the materials they use is really good. So this, I'll have to say, if you get this one, this came coated in grease. It's still a bit sticky. I've given it a real soaking with oil there, and it's starting to work in a bit better now. To close it, get your fingers out of the way, and there it closes. There, you've got a ruler on the outside of this one, but not on this one. You have a centimeters and inches. 9 inches is the spread distance. You literally just open your knife out, or your multi-tool, and I've just whacked that again. Once you open that out flat, you have 9 inches of a ruler across there, which is really handy. You know, a lot of the gaps you're going to be cutting or doing things with around the house, that's going to be absolutely ample. So there's the different sizes. It's a big difference, and it's a difference in weight. This is 10 ounces, this is 8 ounces. So it's only 2 ounces of weight, which is, you know, nothing much at all. But that's really good for something this size, and this is just perfect. You want something, if you're going to buy a multi-tool, you want it to be robust. You want to be able to rely on it on any situation. And for these, which I have, this is a more industrial working multi-tool, and this one is a more homeward DIYist multi-tool. And I'll explain a wee bit further with that as well. So this one comes in this sheath here. It's a Velcro sheath, and it just pops into there. And it's actually, that's what I really do like about it. If you see here, this is leather tipped. I think that's just super. It gives it that added strength, covers over completely, and you've got molly. If you want to use molly, you can put it on your belt. I've attached a light, a torch to it. Just sorry about my mouth. A torch to it. It just clips on the back there. That means that I don't have to. When I've got this is going to go in a carry bag or something like that. I don't really put them on my belt. I can do if I want. There's no problem. So I always throw a torch with it, just in case that I haven't got one in my pocket, which would be very rare, but it's a backup. So I have that so that I don't have to do anything. The torch is there, and I can use it to shine. I can set it down and let it sit there. So I always add a torch with my multi-tools. habit, I suppose. Because if I'm going to do a wee job, it's going to usually be under cupboards in a store, in in the back of a room, under a bed, whatever. That's the way I like to carry it. So that is just a super. Now these tools are just over £100 to buy new. I got a great deal on this, but I swapped a knife that it was of equal value. They were both around the £100, so it was a good deal for both of us, and I enjoyed it. So this one, and this is why this one's more a home tool, and this one is a working tool. With this one, I don't use this sheath. I bought this sheath, which allows me. They're elasticated on the side. It allows me to put a torch on here. I've got a pry bar in there. I have a lighter in here, and I have a ratchet screwdriver adapter for that. Oh, there we go. I have the wrapper. That is just fantastic. A great little tool, about 20 quid or something I think it cost me, but really functional and useful. And then in the back here, there's a stowage in the back of this wee sheath. I think this sheath cost me £10. In the back of it, I've got the 2 leatherman, the full set of bits, which is just super. There's so many from all the things that I use, or we would use, anybody would use about a house. And I just love having them in the back there. And that's why I haven't had to go into my toolbox. I have everything in here sorry about that. Everything in here that I need for around the house jobs. From saws to blades. This is magnetic on the front. So that's that carry. And then, as I showed you this. So these are just 2 things that I'm so glad I've got in my collection now. And that means I don't have, this is great to throw in a go bag. Because, you've got everything in there that I'm probably going to need. And even if I was going I might even just take the lamp. If I was going down to the woods, I'll take this with me. Just in case I want to do something down in the woods. Or if I'm camping, this would be a great camping tool. I don't need ratchets and all down the woods. I'm not going to use them. So this is perfect, and a good torch. I can just pick it and go in my bag. Away I go, I'm covered. And there's nothing wrong with having an extra flashlight with you. You can't replicate light. It's very hard to, other than starting a fire. And if you haven't got that ability, you need light. So it's a hard thing to replicate. This as a home tool with all these bits on it, it's just fantastic. I put a smaller torch on this one because I had a bigger one, but it was sticking out too far. But again, with this, having it on the outside, it's great. You can sit it up. It gives you somewhere to sit and rest it if you need direct light. And I highly recommend it. So just over £100 for these 2. Where I have seen them, I think it was Heine. So fantastic options. 2 options. One for the house, one for your go bag, or if you're going camping, great tool to take. And this is just, I honestly haven't touched my tool bag. It's amazing. This wee thing, I can do everything with what I got in here so far. So there you go. A wee bit longer than normal, but there was more to describe. Highly recommend the both. This is the Leatherman 300 and this is the Leatherman Wave. Super tools. Very, very useful. Take care. Paddy's away. Hope you enjoyed that. 2 for Tuesday. Done and dusted.